Yes, good evening. I want to explain to you one goat on zero grazing. How much does it need with all the requirements? So briefly, these are the requirements. These are the things that you need to put in place or what you have to think about when you're starting a goat farm on zero grazing. Uh, or if you want to put it on store feeding. These are the things that you need to have in place. You need to know about how much does a goat come up for an acaricide in a year. I'm going to calculate one goat for a year. And then you have to think about a dewormer. You have to think about the vaccine because it's very important. You also have to look at the feeds as a core point, and then drugs and the worker. Those are the people that make up a good business. Uh, yeah, that makes a good business. So I'm going to explain this in two episodes. And the first one, I've taken you through all this. Roughly, I'm going to give you what it needs. Then in the last episode, I'll be explaining to you um, the profits of this kind of business. So roughly, a goat needs, let me talk about an acaricide. In an acaricide, let's say if you have like 300 goats, 300 goats needs over 75 liters of acaricide. Those are 3 pumps or 3 sprayers. You get it? So that's every 100 goats will need over a sprayer, 25 liters each 100. So using the advanced sprayers, which doesn't waste the drug, which breaks it into small particles and uses a high pressure. So it helps them to be washed very well. So the particles really helps very well. If you're using sprayers, make sure you use strong sprayers, which breaks the water in very small particles and using a high pressure. So that helps you to reduce on the amount of the acaricide that you use. So let me talk about the acaricide. So if you're using the very expensive acaricide, like right now, the one I'm using, let me give you an example of Spawner Extra. If you're using Spawner Extra, each liter is 290,000. Those are 1,000 mils. So that means each mil is 290, the cost of it. Its mixing ratio is 1 mil to 2 liters of water. That means if you have 1 mil, it has to mix 2 liters of water. So that means if you have 300 goats to be sprayed, you need 75 liters. So if you're using 75 liters, divide by the amount of mils that are supposed to mix it is 39. So if you're using 13 mils per spray, 13 mils per spray. So that means you're using 39 mils. If you're using 39 mils, that means 39 mils times the cost of the meal, that is 290. So you will end up having 11,310 shillings. But divide by the number of goats, which is, that means each goat needs 37.7 shillings per spraying. So if you're spraying for the whole month, a goat will need 150 shillings. And then if you're spraying for the whole year, you get, if you're spraying for the whole year, the goat might need 1,809 shillings. So that's what it will need at least in a year. So that means if you divide by the cost of the meals, 1,000 divided by the cost of the meal, that is 290. So a goat might need around 6 meals throughout the year if you're spraying effectively. So that means that is the cost of the spraying in a year. So even if you add in more water, or if you add on the amount of the acaricide that you use, it will not exceed 2,000. What I'm telling you, that is what I'm doing at my farm, and it's really working effectively. it is working effectively at my farm. So, giving you another explanation here, we shall need a dewormer. Each goat might take 10 meals per deworming, and we deworm 4 times in a year. That means if each litre is 30,000, divided by 30,000 divided by 1,000, that means a litre is coming, the 10 meals is coming out at 300 shillings. So 300 shillings times 12 months, that means a goat will need around 1,200 shillings or 1,200 for a dewormer. So let's go to the vaccine. If each vaccine is costing 2,000, let's say we are vaccinating for 4. That is CCPP, PPR, Clostridio, Brucella, goatpox, depending in your area and the diseases that always affects you or attacks you. That means in 6 months, if you decide to vaccinate after 6 months, in 6 months you should have spent 20,000 on one goat. So if it is a year, that is 10,000, and if it is in a year, is 20,000. So let me bring you another episode that is going to handle the core point of the feeds, because feeds is really very important.